We're going to start with about 150 chains. When you do 150 chains, I want you to just stop, lay it out, let it relax, and then measure what you have. See if you've got anywhere between 60 to 65 inches, because we all know when you set out a certain chain at a certain length, when you actually start working that chain, it shortens up just a tad. So everyone's tension is different. Everyone is using a different hook size, a different size weight yarn. This is where your measuring tape really comes in handy, because the dimensions of this are just not so cut and dry. It really depends on the materials you're using, and if you're a tight crocheter, or if you're a loose crocheter. So 150 chains is a really good starting point. Okay, so if you already know how to chain, then get yourself to 150 and meet me back here, and I'll show you how to do the first row. And it doesn't matter if it's even or odd. Doesn't matter. Just go ahead and chain up some chains, and I'll meet you back here. I wanted to back up for a second and show you guys a trick. And when you're making very long foundation chains, and we're going to be working in the round, right, which means we're going to connect them and make a continuous circle. You need your beginning foundation chain to not get twisted. That's very important. And I'm going to show you a little trick to make sure that that doesn't happen, or, well, yeah, it's not going to happen if you do this. Absolutely. And so the goal is to make 150 chains, and that's just your starter chain, and you're going to measure that, right? But for right now, in the beginning, just do 10, okay? Just do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and we want this chain to go in a circle, right? That's what we're going to do. We're working in a circle. So you want to take your hook out, and all of these need to be facing up here. So when I say go into your chain, you don't want to go in through the front. You want to go in through the back, through the very first, and put your hook back on. You see how that worked? Now it's definitely not twisted. And continue to chain with this on here. So do this, chain up your 150. When you're done with your 150, meet me back here, and I'll show you how to join these two. And here we are at the end of our chain, and here is a way to take this off. Now we know that it is not twisted, right? So here we're going to slip stitch these together. So you're going to yarn over, go through one, go through the other, and now your chain is on your hook in a circle. And we know it's not twisted because of what we did in the beginning. Very, very easy. All right, here we go. We're going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to count as a double crochet and a chain 1. We are going to, and I'm always a big proponent of going into the back loops. And when you look at this, your stitches, it has a cleaner edge to it because your V stitches are there, just like on the top. It has a cleaner edge to it. This pattern is so much more forgiving than other patterns. If you don't want to take the time out to go through the back loop, you absolutely don't have to. But what I would encourage you to do is whichever loop you're going to go through, if you're going to go through the back loop or if you're just going to go through this top one, be consistent. Because that inconsistency in working in this foundation chain will show up in your project. It just won't, something will be off. Right? People will be able to tell that that's off a little bit. So no matter what you want to do, work into it consistently. And all right, so we've chained up 4, so that counts as a double crochet and a chain 1, and then we're going to skip 1 and we're going to double crochet into the next. Okay, I'm going to turn my work into the back loop. Double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. And when you work into the back loop, it kind of turns your work, right? So now they're all presented to you. It naturally just turns your work. So we're going to skip 1 and we're going to put a double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. And that's what this pattern is right here. Double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. Do this all the way around. When you get to the end, I'll show you how to connect it right here. Okay? I'll meet you when you get to the end. And here we are at the end. Now, before we connect this, double check and make sure that you didn't get twisted anywhere along the way. You shouldn't have, but sometimes, like with this pattern, this can get twisted. Okay, and you're thinking, oh no, which way? And pull your tail end down. When you pull your tail end down, you'll see very quickly, it'll become apparent to you that this is our chain 4 that we skipped in the beginning, right? Or that we made. This is our chain 4. So make sure that we are not twisted in any way, and we are good to go. But yeah, pull your tail end down and you'll be able to see. Now we've finished with a double crochet right here. We're going to chain 1, and we are not going to work into this chain. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to work into these spaces. Because this pattern is so airy, right? You will be able to see a seam. It's just going to be it's going to be so noticeable. There's no real way to hide it. There's because it's just so open. So it's best to work this pattern into a spiral and not have a seam. And the way to do that is when you get your last double crochet and chain 1, work into your spaces. We're going to double crochet into the space, chain 1, go into your next space, double crochet, chain 1. I told y'all, this is the easiest infinity scarf you'll ever make. Once you get that first row done, this is all it is double crochet, chain 1s into those spaces. And you're working in a spiral, so you're not having to worry about when one row ends and being able to start another row. This is something that you can do really by feel. You know, you can take your thumb and your finger and you can just feel when your next space is and not have to really look. So that's all. Double crochet, chain 1 into your spaces. Now when you get to where the width that you want to be, this is your width. Infinity scarves are usually 10 to 12 inches. And again, I think mine is 10 inches. Yeah, I made this one 10 inches long, or 10 inches wide. When you get to the width that you want to be, meet me back here and I'll show you how to close it off. Okay? So enjoy your scarf. Meet me at the end and I'll show you how to finish it off. And here we are at the end, and you've got the width that you're comfortable with, that you want, and all you do when you finish your double crochet and your little chain 1, we're just going to go into the next space and slip stitch. Slip stitch in there and then pull through. And this helps because I just ran out of this yarn. And you tighten it down and weave in your end, and there you've worked it in the round. A beautiful infinity scarf. Wonderful. Y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up to support my work. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I would love to see how you made your infinity scarf. Find me on Facebook at Tammy's Yarn House and let me know. I would love to see a picture of your infinity scarf. All right, y'all, that's it for today. You have a wonderful time working on your project, and we'll see you later.